हरिओम। मिलचांड शांति मंत्र। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः stuष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We'll chant from verse number 2. तान्हस ऋषिर्वाच भूयैव तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण श्रद्धया संवत्सरं संवत्स्यथ यथा कामं प्रश्नान् पृच्छत यदि विज्ञास्यामः सर्वं हवो वक्ष्याम इति। अथ कबन्धी कात्यायन उपेत्य पप्रच्छ भगवन् कुतो हवा इमाः प्रजाः प्रजायन्त इति। तस्मै स होवाच प्रजाकामो वै प्रजापतिः स तपोतप्यत स तपस्तप्त्वा समिथुनम् उत्पादयते रयिञ्च प्राणञ्च इत्येतौ मे बहुधा प्रजाः करिष्यत इति। So this Prashnopanishad, which is from Atharva Ved, it begins with a story of the 6 seekers who approach Pippalada Rishi. So the 6 seekers were themselves quite learned, and they had done upasana of that Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, but they did not know the Supreme Brahma. So they approached the teacher with the desire to learn from him with proper attitude, bringing the firewood and all, the attitude of surrender. So the teacher told them that you stay here in the ashram for 1 year, observing tapas, brahmacharya, and with shraddha. And after 1 year you can ask your question. And if I know the answer, I will reply. So they remained there. That is their faith, that is their, the deep interest, jidnyasa, that they want to learn, and for that they are ready to do anything. So after 1 year of living in Brahmacharya Tapas Shraddha, Kabandhi, one of the seeker, he approached the teacher and he asked, Ki Bhagavan, kuto hava imaha prajaha, prajayanta iti, that imaha prajaha, these beings, all these beings, from where have they come? From whence are these creatures born? Prajaha, kutaha, from where have they come? More his focus on human beings. Later on from the answer we come to know. But teacher gives the complete picture. So from where these beings have come. It also gives the understanding that what exactly what is that which propels us to take birth again and again, and what we gain as the result of performing and living in this world and performing various actions in this world. So when this question was asked, the teacher replied, Ki tasmai sa hovacha, replied, Ki praja kamo vai prajapatihi. See, when the question is about the creation, about that means the person who is asking is seeing this world, observing it, experiencing himself, and experiencing the world around. So when such a question is asked, though the ultimate everything is that Brahma, when this question is asked, then from a certain point the explanation is given. And that is, as we have seen in Aittariya Upanishad also, that before this name and form, before this world is seen as having different names and form, it was that pure Atma alone, or pure Brahma alone. Atma va idameka eva agra asit, na anyat kinchana mishata, that nothing other than Atma. So the world which we experience is seen now having different names, different forms, different beings, what you call sentient and the insentient world. So this world, at present when we are seeing, it is in the sthiti avastha. But it also goes into laya avastha, and again there is utpatti. So these are the three states in which the world exists. Utpatti, sthiti and laya. It is existing. Nitya, eternally, there is utpatti, sthiti and laya happening in this world. But what is the source of that world? Is that Brahma alone. So from that Brahma, who is also indicated as Ishvara, this world came into being. It is sustained in that Ishvara and again merges back into Ishvara. Then again it gets projected. So the first thing which gets projected from Ishvara is Hiranyagarbha. It's called the firstborn, Hiranyagarbha. Garbha means, literally it means, Garbha means womb. Hiranya means gold, golden womb. From that golden womb only everything comes. So Ishvara has that power called Maya, which is also called Prakriti or Avyakta, and it's called Maya Shakti. Now, Ishvara is Sarvatnya, Sarvashaktiman, and Ishvara doesn't have any a desire. Ishvara himself doesn't have any desire. But this Nitya Jagat which is there, in which there are so many jivas, they have desires. And in order to fulfill their desires, they require certain environment. For example, in a house, let us say 4 or 5 children are there, and each one of them, they have different desires. Mother is not eating that day upvas, but each of them have different desire. So she cooks according to their desires. Someone wants noodles, someone wants something else, paratha. So according to their desires, she cooks. Similarly, Ishvara himself doesn't have any desire, but he is all powerful. He can do. Jivas, they have a lot of desires, but they can't do anything. They are helpless. They are, Alpa Shaktiman, Alpadnya, don't have power to fulfill their desires. So Ishvara, out of his compassion and out of his power, creates this world so that for 2 reasons, means for jivas only, so that they can fulfill their desires, and those who are interested, they can gain moksha. Those who are not interested, they can fulfill their desires by taking birth again and again and again, non-stop. Or those who are interested, they can gain moksha also. So moksha also is possible because we can take support of the world. From the world only that Brahma can be recognized. Because of the world, because of the body, mind, intellect, we can recognize that which is beyond the world. So those who are interested in moksha and those who are interested in fulfilling their desires, Bhagwan creates this world. So the first thing manifest or produce or comes out of that Ishvara is this Hiranyagarbha. And Hiranyagarbha is also Jiva only. First Jiva, but universal Jiva. And in this Hiranyagarbha, Bhagwan gives this Hiranyagarbha the knowledge of the Vedas. And this Hiranyagarbha then meditates. You should not imagine a form, or in Puranas, you picturize the whole thing as Brahmaji with 4 heads and all. But otherwise, there is no picture, there is no person there sitting and doing meditation. So that Hiranyagarbha, with the knowledge of the Vedas, meditates and recollects the world which was there before it went into dissolution. And then creates the same type of world, same world again. Just as when we go to sleep, individually also, our world gets dissolved. We become totally disconnected from our body, mind, intellect, world. It as though gets dissolved. Then when we wake up, the same world which was there before going to sleep, with minor changes while asleep, which others might have done, you wake up. Similarly, after the Laya Avastha, when the whole world goes into dissolution, the first Hiranyagarbha, who is here indicated as Prajapatihi, Prajakamaha. Prajakama means with a desire to produce, with a desire to create. So that Hiranyagarbha creates this world out of himself. The material also is that Hiranyagarbha himself, who is not different from from Ishvara only that Hiranyagarbha is born. So out of himself he creates this world. This is all I am saying as said in the Upanishads. So this knowledge we have to listen as it is said in the Upanishad. You cannot prove or disprove it with the scientific understanding. You can connect it somewhere here, there, this, that. That is everyone's imagination. One can connect it. But it is as said in the Upanishads. So Hiranyagarbha creates this world, the physical world. The gross physical world is created by Hiranyagarbha. And his Jiva is that Ishvara only who has entered this physical world that we have seen in the previous Upanishad. So this world which we see is again made up of two entities, two things. So Hiranyagarbha first creates these two things. So these two are called Prana and Rai. Raincha Pranancha. Prana and Rai. So that Prajakamaha, Prajapati, that Hiranyagarbha, who is desirous of creating this world, Tapotapyata, he meditated. Meditated means he brought to his mind all the world which was there in the previous kalpa. All this Shakti got from the Ishvara only. And after doing this tapas, tapas taptva mithunam utpadayate, created a couple, mithunam. But this couple is what? Rai and Prana. Now Rai means matter. What we understand as matter is this Rai. And Prana is that energy, life energy. We will learn more about this, but it is the life energy different from matter. Not the consciousness. This is the life energy different from matter. For example, our body is made up of matter, Rai. But that which runs this body, which makes every action in this body possible, it's called Prana. This is a very subtle and interesting knowledge which is revealed here. Science doesn't know about it yet. It doesn't know about it. But it is also struggling to find out what is there which activates matter. See, the whole world which we see is made up of matter. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi, these 5 elements. Then we have these Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas, Tanmatras, Manobuddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. All these are matter. Some are subtle, some are gross, but all of them are what we call matter. In fact, this prana is also matter in a way. It is also jada because it is something which is known to the consciousness. So that which is known to consciousness is called jada, matter. But there is a difference in this prana. Prana is that which activates this other matter. See, if you see in the field of science also, they talk about finer matter also, like an atom. It is so fine that you can't even imagine that it is, they have come to know about this atom. It is so fine that even in the tip of the hair, if you put those atoms side by side, so many of them can stand there. I don't know exactly what number, but many of them can stand comfortably in line on the tip of your hair. That is the size of those atoms, very fine. Our body is made up of billions and millions, trillions of them. As you walk, you throw atoms like anything. Because all the छिलके निकलते हैं शरीर से, all of them are atoms only. They just fall off. In this atom also there are this electron, proton, neutron. The proton, neutron is like the nucleus बीच में, and the electron which moves around. Now for this electron also to move, some force is required. Physics, what we call the electromagnetic force or gravitational force or other forces which they talk about, all the forces, whether it is cross physical forces or the life forces, all of them are called prana. All the activities in the material world, whether it is the physical world, I mean in the sense the inert, what you call insentient world, or the sentient world, the activities happen because of this prana. It's a Shakti of Ishvara only, ultimately it's a Kriya Shakti of that Ishvara, because of which activity happens in matter. That same prana is experienced within us as life energy. We breathe, we digest food. The food gets circulated within our body. So prana, apan, vyan, udan, saman, they are the expression of this prana only within this body, which makes even the tiny little cell perform its activity. A little cell also is busy doing something. While you are listening to pravachan, do you think they are sitting comfortably? They are all working very hard, producing some enzymes, this, that, and God knows what they are doing. Busy running around, running the show of this body. All these cells are busy. So that energy which is required for them to act, to multiply, to move around, to produce, that's also called prana. And that energy which is required for this earth to move around the sun, the activity happening in the sun, all the activities happening in the whole cosmos, that also happens because of this prana. Now, very interesting. In my body, though the body is made up of inert matter, I know that this inert matter is run by this prana only. If the prana goes away, then body moves and functions according to the physical laws then. But when the prana is there, we can do activity against the physical law also. Right? We can go against the gravitational law, jump up. So the life energy, that same prana, when it activates a being, it functions in a very interesting, subtle way. So that is also prana, and that which runs the show. So when I see this body, it appears or I know that everything is matter, but it is made active by this prana. So individual jiva's prana as though runs this body. Similarly, this entire cosmos, which is made up of matter, is also functions by this cosmic prana. That is this prana we is talking about. That cosmic, so Hiranyagarbha not only produce Rai, which is all matter, both subtle as well as gross matter, but he also produce this prana to activate this matter. So it's quite a phenomenal thing. And this knowledge, this Upanishads and all, so ancient, as I said. Ancient means they are anadi. They are anadi. That when, even if suppose nowadays actually they try to give some date to it, which is not proper. Maybe they give the date when it was written on the some क्या बोलते हैं उसको भोजपत्र or something. That is not the date of origin of this. And in those days, if we believe in the scientific discoveries and the chronology, these things were not even known to people. Later on we will see that even about gravitational law, which was so-called discovered by Newton, is mentioned here in this book. So it's very subtle knowledge is given. So prana and rai is produced. So all that we see in this world is a combination of this rai and prana. So even when we, later on that question will come, that even when I get disconnected from this body in deep sleep state. Deep sleep state, you are not connected to the body. You become totally disconnected. Still the body functions. Person in coma, body functions. As though कुछ नहीं हुआ है. खाना पीना यानी if something is fed to that body, everything happens. The growth also takes place. The heartbeat, blood circulation, digestion, सब चलता है. As though it has got nothing to do this fellow who is sleeping. तू सो जा, मैं कर लेता हूँ सब काम. This prana is the most fascinating. I mean, everything is fascinating, but otherwise it's very fascinating. Prana. So, Rai cha pranancha. So, ye prana and Rai were produced, Mithunam, couple. And cha ito me bahudha praja karishyate iti, and Bhagwan thought, Hiranyagarbha thought, that this will produce then everything whatever is required. And it produced. So all the physical world and with all the bodies of all the beings are the Rai, and then they are activated by prana. So everything in this world, the sentient as well as insentient, is made up of this Rai and prana. Everything. So that really speaking, that life energy, what we call prana, exists everywhere. Only in a conducive, some environments with a particular environment and all, it manifests as what we understand as life. But otherwise that life energy is there running the show of this world. Even all the galaxies move, and the planets and the stars and everything functions because of this prana energy only. In science also they are trying to find out. The answer is this prana, unified field theory or something is there. Or so. They're trying to find out that what is that one thing which activates and runs the show. Maybe they are trying to find out, I don't know. So, Rai cha pranancha iti etau me bahuda prajaha karishyata iti. Now the language used here is a different, very contemplative language. So, but the main gist I have conveyed to you. So let us see what is said now further. Adityo havai pranaha raireva chandrama rairva etat sarvam yanmurtam cha murtam cha tasman murtireva raihi adityo havai pranaha. So this pranaha is represented by the sun. Sun represents this prana. The sun represents prana, and Raireva Chandrama, and the moon represents Rai. Though all matter is Rai, and the energy, the pranic energy is everywhere, but it is first represented or seen here for the sake of explanation now. First it is said that the prana, the Aditya, that is the sun, is prana, and moon is Rai. See, even just looking at sun and the moon, we find that the light in the moon is that of the sun, and the moon gets activated because of the energy of the sun only. So, sun is the prana and moon is Rai. And Rairva etat sarvam. And that Rai is etat sarvam, all that is there in this world. It's the vast world, infinite world. The world is also infinite. See, this Akash is infinite. You cannot find the end of this Akash. It's infinite world. And all that is there, all these galaxies and stars and the sun and the moon, so many things are there. Everything, etat sarvam yat murtam, that which has got form, all those objects which have got forms, matter which has got form, and cha amurtam, and those which do not have form, even subtler matter. Like space is very subtle. It is also considered Mahabhut. It is very subtle. We can experience Vayu. We can touch, we can feel that Vayu. But we can't experience space. But we know there is space because of the objects. For example, this object is there. When somebody asks, where is this object? I say it is here. When I say here, this concept of space is also there. If you just see the object, there is no such thing called here in the object. But I also experience the object as here. So this space is very subtle, which gives accommodation to objects. Avakash it is called. But it is subtle. Then we also experience movement. When we experience movement, we also experience direction. East, west, north, south, up, down. So when there is movement, if there is no movement, you don't experience the direction. But when there is movement, you also talk about direction. And when there is movement, you also experience time. So space, time and direction, what we call desha, kala and dig. Dig desha kala. Dig means direction, desha means space, kala means time. Dig desha kala is experience when we experience matter. It is not part of matter, but it is as though associated with matter somehow. So this, the space is very subtle, time is also subtle. But the space is also rahi only. So subtle matter as well as gross matter, everything is rahi. So tasmat murtireva rahi. So therefore all that has got form, whether they are gross or subtle, they are all rahi. And that which activates this rahi is this prana. इतना समझ में आ गया? अब आगे नहीं समझ में नहीं आ गया, फिर भी आगे चलो. आगे चलते रहो. अथ आदित्य उदयन यत् प्राचीं दिशं प्रविशति तेन प्राच्यान् प्राणान् रश्मिषु सन्निधत्ते यद्दक्षिणां यत्प्रतीचीं यद्उदीचीं यदधः यदूर्ध्वं यदन्तरा दिशो यत्सर्वं प्रकाशयति तेन सर्वान् प्राणान् रश्मिषु सन्निधत्ते. Now it is said that how this prana is everywhere. It is there pervading the entire cosmos, this prana, and it is that which activates this rayi, matter. So it is very poetically it is presented here. So it was said that prana is represented by the sun. So just when we experience every day also, when just as the sun when it rises, the sun carries all the light. So when the sun rises, the light falls on earth, everything becomes bright. So the light falls on the east, west, north, south, everywhere, on all that is there, and everything brightens up. Everything brightens. Similarly, this sun of prana, when it rises, so atha aditya, so here aditya is the prana, udayan, when it rises, prachim disham pravishati, it enters the prachi disha. Prachi is the east. So it as though embraces it rises in the east, and tena prachan pranan rashmishu sannidhatte, and it engulfs the entire east with its rays of prana. So the entire east gets filled with this pranic rays, pranas. Just as the rays of the sun, it illumines the east. Similarly, this prana, cosmic prana, when it rises, it as though illumines the east, means all that is, all the rayi which is there in the east gets illumined, gets activated, gets empowered. Nowadays we use the word empower. They get empowered by this prana. Then yad dakshinam, then again it illumines the dakshin disha. The dakshin is south. Then yat pratichim, it illumines the west. So east, south, west, north, up, down. So dakshinam yad pratichim is west, yad udichim north, yad adhaha down, yad urdhvam above, yad antara in between also. Everything is enlivened by this prana, which is the very subtle energy, which is the Kriya Shakti of that Supreme, activates everything. Therefore, we say everything happens because of Ishvara only. Even the prana is required for us to think. Even thinking is not possible if prana Shakti is not there. In one of the Upanishad, in order to prove that how prana Shakti is required for thinking, the Rishi tells the student that you fast for 15 days. Not for this anti-corruption or something, but to understand what is prana. So, first he was told you chant some mantra and all, he chanted. Then you fast. So after 15 days he was told you chant that same mantra, he says, don't remember anything, no. He didn't have any energy to think also and remember also. So even the energy we require to think, to meditate, to breathe, to sneeze, to digest food, to everything, whatever we do, that is that prana only. Without prana is not possible. So prana, it enlivens all the directions, up, down, east, west, north, south, and in between also. Tad antara disho, yat sarvam prakashayati. Everything is illumined by this prana. And tena sarvan pranan rashmishu sannidhatte. And by that, this prana, everything gets enlivened by this prana Shakti. Sarvan pranan rashmishu sannidhatti. By that rays of this prana, everything gets engulfed as though everything, all the creatures, all the matter gets enlivened by this prana in all directions, everywhere. So there is matter and this energy, and they run the show of this world. This is not the energy which is understood in science. This is different. This is very subtle. In science, what they understand is the matter only actually. E is equal to mc square. That energy is different. But this, what we call prana, is even subtler than what science has understood. So everything is enlivened by this prana. Now, further. Sa esha vaishvanaraha vishvarupaha pranaha agnihi udayate tad etad richa abhyuktam sa esha vaishvanaraha. This prana, when it enlivens this entire physical world, it makes that whole physical world as though alive. See, Hiranyagarbha is at the subtler level. But this Vaishvana, when he produces the Rai and Prana, and the Prana enlivens this, it becomes the gross physical world. And that one Prana enlivens this entire gross physical world. So, it is like Hiranyagarbha himself has become this matter, and he is himself enlivening this matter as Prana, and he himself exists as this in this physical world. So when he expresses himself in this physical world, he is called Vaishvanaraha, the universal person, the one who exists in each and everything of this world. It's very interesting. So, Ishvara, who is Brahma only, is born, or he produces Hiranyagarbha at a subtler level, he exists, and then gross physical world, he alone exists as Vaishvanara. Like at our individual level also, we experience ourselves at three different levels. All of us, we experience ourselves at three different levels. Though the scripture says there is a fourth level also, but we don't experience it. We only experience the three avasthas we experience. We experience ourselves in the Jagrat avastha, that is called the Bahish Pradnya, the Vishwa or Bahish Pradnya. Then we experience ourselves in the Swapna avastha, it's called Taijasa. And we experience ourselves in the Sushupti avastha, wherein we are called Pradnya. So I experience myself in these three avasthas. When somebody asks you, who are you? In the waking state, if they ask, then you will tell whatever. I am so and so. No? Suppose I ask you, who are you? You will give your name. Where are you? You will say, I am sitting here in this hall. I am sitting. Suppose, now thoda chintan karte, huh? Suppose, while listening, you suddenly get tired and you sleep. And you dream. And in your dream, you are swimming. So somebody comes and asks you in your dream, hey, where are you? What are you doing? I am swimming. Then while dreaming, again the dream also disappears and you go into deep sleep state, wherein you don't hear anyone else speaking also. If somebody asks you, what are you doing? Where are you? Chup, kuch nahi. In that state, you experience nothing. Nothing in the sense you don't experience your body. You don't experience the body, not your body. The body you don't experience. The world you don't experience. The mind you don't experience. Intellect you don't experience. But you existed. When you wake up, you don't say that I did not exist there. You existed there. So I existed without the body, delinked from the body. So that is, and that there was existence, there was bliss, and there was knowingness also. Because of that only, when I wake up, I know that I existed. In my dream, I see a dream world. In the waking, I am different. So if I ask you, are you sitting? Or are you sleeping? Or are you just pure existence? You will give different answer. Confusion will be there. Should I say I am sitting? Or should I say I am swimming? Or should I say, it has got nothing to do with the body. I am that pure existence itself. So in the deep sleep state, I remain there with all the potential, but without expressing. I am there as pure existence. In the dream, I express the potential which is there within the mind and create a world. And in the waking, I identify with the gross physical body and experience the physical world. In the same way, Ishvara, just like in our deep sleep state, Ishvara exists with all his potential and power. First, he manifests Hiranyagarbha, who is like our dream, who is like the cosmic dreamer, you can say, which is not exactly term used, but let us just say that he is identified just like our Taijasa, the Hiranyagarbha at the cosmic level. And when we wake up, that same one who was dreaming is identified with this physical body, not someone else. Similarly, this gross physical world, the same Hiranyagarbha only is expressing like Vaishvanara, the universal person, existing in every being, as the self of every being, as within every being, he is there, as Vaishvanara. It's most fascinating. So, Sa Esha Vaishvanaraha, the scripture says, this prana, what we talked about, who is holding and guiding this ray at the cosmic level, is the Vaishvanara who is handling the whole show. He is the prana, he is a Vishwaroop, he is appearing in the vivid form in this whole universal form, with variety of forms in all living beings. He is the Agni, he is like fire. So pranaha agnihi udayate. Even the fire which digests our food is also sometimes called Vaishvanara Agni. So pranaha agnihi udayate, he rises. Tad etad richa abhyuktam. So this is how the creation happens. So from Ishvara Hiranyagarbha, from Hiranyagarbha Vaishvanaraha. And this is, though it is this Upanishad from Atharva Ved, now this Rishi is quoting another mantra from the Rig Ved. So tad etar richa abhyuktam. He says, now I will quote this richa from the Rig Ved, which also conveys the same thought which I have told you. One meaning of this is that the Rishi also indicates when we approach a teacher, he gives the knowledge based on he gives the Upanishadic knowledge, not his own. There is no such thing called own, mera hai, I have taught you, and this is my pure original theory. That is not valid. It makes no sense. So the teacher conveys the knowledge of the Upanishad. There is no such thing called original knowledge. All the jivas, they are ignorant only till we come to recognize ourselves. So एक ignorant person can give only ignorant theory only. Therefore the theories in science also keep on changing every second day. If you read the newspaper also, they will tell you. One day they will say, Aisa hai, this is the theory. This is what happened. Next day they change it. Some new theory comes. During Newton's time, they thought that everything is explained. अभी explain करने का कुछ बाकी नहीं है जगत में. Everything can be explained through this classical physics, Newtonian physics. Then Einstein came and he says, no, there's some subtler physics also. He talked about relativity, special theory and general theory of relativity, he said. So the whole world looked different from this standpoint of relativity. Then later on, after him, some more scientists came, they talked about quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is really quite mind-boggling. Then they talk about quantum field theory or something. So they keep on changing because it is not reached the ultimate reality. So the rishis also, when they teach, they also say that this is what is said in the Upanishads, in the Vedas. So here Rishi, though he is part of the Veda, is also quoting within it another mantra of the Veda to indicate to us the importance of the Vedas, importance of these pramanas. So he quotes this Richa from Rigved. He says, let us chant, Vishvarupam harinam jata vedasam Parayanam jyotirekam tapantam Sahasrarashmi shatadha vartamanaha Prana prajanam udayattesha suryah. Vishwarupam harinam jata vedasam. Those who know, those who have known this prana, those who have understood the subtle aspect, this subtle prana, they understand that this prana itself is there in everything and everyone. It is Vishwarupam. It is in all the forms. In all the forms, this prana is there. It is Harinam, resplendent, full of Teja. Prana, Teja. As I said, it is not something physical. It is not some physical entity which can be measured with scientific equipment. They do a lot of experiment also. When a person dies, is it something actually physical leaves? So they take the weight and all those things and all. कि कुछ weight कम हो गया क्या मरने के बाद? So one person who is almost dying, they close him into a box, measure it, and wait till he dies. When he dies, immediately they measure. But it is not a physical, measurable in that sense with any of our. So it is Harinam, resplendent, bright and brilliant, that prana. Parayanam, it's the supreme goal, or it is the supreme thing to be comprehended. But Parayan also means that which enlivens all the pranas. All the pranis are enlivened by this prana. Therefore they are called pranis, because they have this prana. So Parayan means that which enlivens all the creatures. Jyotihi, it is of the nature of light. Ekam, it is one. There is one cosmic prana. So the life in me, the life in you is also one only. Matter in me, matter in you is also one. The body is made up of the same matter. My body, your body is made up of the same matter. The prana is also one. And ultimate reality is also one. So ekam tapantam, which as though burns or is heats up, tapantam, giver of heat giver, tapantam, sahasra rashmihi, which has got thousands of as though rays, very subtle. See, this prana energy, the way it functions, it's quite amazing. There are some, like some spores, some creatures, some bacteria and all, which remains in a dormant form for years together, for millions of years. They are alive, but they are not manifesting. And when right environment is there, again they come out. Like seed, life is there, but it can remain like that for years together. And then you put it in the soil, thoda pani de do, it comes out. So this life, prana, it functions, expresses in billions of as though rays. Human life is one of the expression of this prana, but there are so many life forms having variety of functions, activities. The plants, variety of plants. It is so fascinating and difficult to comprehend. Like for example, these flowers. Now flowers don't have eyes to see. So why they have colors and all? They form different colors to attract those bees and all those things so that they come. Colors वो वहाँ से लेके आते हैं. They themselves don't have eyes. So उनको कलर के बारे में क्या पता है? कौन पता है उनको? Some honeybees and all, they know exactly, they go check the flower and they come and dance. I told you last time also. And the other honeybees, they watch them and they can exactly go to that point. Some by mistake reach the other, they dance nahi dekha. So sometimes you find solitary honeybees looking confused. They're the one who was sleeping while that honeybee was dancing. And then they bite someone and go. So it's quite fascinating, the world of creatures, so amazing. Thousands of varieties are there. Each one of them most fascinating. So sahasra rashmihi shatadha vartamanaha, existing in hundreds of different forms or different ways. They exist. They say, the scientists, they say that now life is there on Earth, but there might be life in other planets also, which can exist, which might be there in totally other form. On Earth, for example, we have liquid water. On some other planet or some satellite and all, there is liquid methane, for example, is there. If there is life form, they might be there existing, taking that methane for their movement and all. Liquid is required for the movement of this life according to science. So there, if some beings are existing and all, they might be drinking methane only. Thoda methane de do mere ko. They might call it water or something else, but it might be quite interesting, fascinating. So one should keep one's wonder alive. Then we will appreciate and enjoy the creation much more. So Sahasra सहस्ररश्मिः शतधा वर्तमानः prana prajanam udayati esha suryah. This prana, which is suryah, enlivening all the beings, all the creatures, it arises. Udayati, it exists, enlivening all the creatures. So this is a quotation from the Richa from Rig Veda. So in this way, the prana is being said. Then this, now a subtle point is conveyed in the next mantra. As I said, for all movement, all activity, that prana is required. Even the activity of time is also because of this prana. The moment, what we call time, also happens because of this prana. So that is being presented in the next mantra. Samvatsaro vai prajapatihi tasyayane dakshinam chottaram cha तद्येह वै तदिष्टापूर्ते कृतम् इत्युपासते ते चान्द्रमसमेव लोकम् अभिजयन्ते त एव पुनरावर्तन्ते तस्माद् एते ऋषयः प्रजा कामा दक्षिणं प्रतिपद्यन्ते एषः वैरयिः यः पितृयाणः संवत्सरो वै प्रजापतिः. Even in the prana pervades the time also, or is expressed or seen in time. See, as I said, what we experience in this world is objects, matter, but as we are experiencing matter, we also experience space, time and direction, dig, desha and kala, which is also part of this world only, but that is also in a subtle way experience. When there is movement, we experience time. For example, this block is here, then I move it there, then I remember it was here before, now it is here. So before, now, afterwards, in this way we experience time. We experience even space as like that object is there, this is here, so in between we experience space, we imagine that there is something in between. Similarly, so this prana, this is also at a subtle, the space is also subtle matter only. And in this space, time, direction, all this matter is also empowered by prana. So prana is expressing as time also. So here this is said that this Prajapati, Hiranyagarbha, all the breaking of time is given. First it is taken as a year, month, day and all. So he says Prajapati is like Samvatsara, like 1 year. Then this Prana and Rai, they are like Dakshinayan and Uttarayan. So Samvatsaro vai Prajapatihi tasya ayane dakshinam cha uttaram cha tad ye havai tad ishtapurte kritam iti upasate. See, in a year, there are these 6 months which are called Dakshinayan, and 6 months are called Uttarayan. You know that. So on January 14th, the Uttarayan begins. And it goes on for 6 months. It is actually if you look at the sun, based on the sun only we calculate time on Earth. I don't know about other planets, I have no experience. So based on the sun, we calculate time on Earth. The year we calculate when we see the sun. How do we calculate year? I don't know. when the earth takes a whole round around the sun. And as the earth takes a round, we see this, because if the sun is, if this is the sun, black sun, then the earth, it moves something like this. Not exactly goal, but in this type of. Okay. So when it is moving for 6 months it moves like this, 6 months it moves. So when it is moving like this, the sun appears to be moving this way. So it appears to be moving south, then it is called Dakshinayan. When it appears to be moving north, it is called Uttarayan. So 6 months Dakshinayan, 6 months Uttarayan. And Dakshinayan is considered as a disha of death. Uttarayan is considered as the disha of life. So here, just for the understanding, the scripture says that the Dakshinayan is like Rai and Uttarayan is like Prana. So tad ye havai tad ishtapurte kritam iti upasate. So those who follow the path of ishtapurti, those who perform karma, follow the path of dharma. So there are two paths mentioned in the scriptures. One is called pravrutti marga and nivrutti marga. As I said yesterday also, that the Upanishads, they talk about dharma and brahma. So those who follow the path of dharma, it's that pravrutti like. And those who want to experience that brahma, the nivrutti marga. So in this pravrutti, people perform different types of actions. So there are those actions which are mentioned in the scriptures. They are called ishta. And purti means social activities, social work. Ishtapurti. So there are some actions which gives result in this world and other world also. And there are those actions which you can see the result here and now. So you can do some social work, digging a well, opening schools, hospital, this, that, and all, seva of the world. So that's called Ishtapurti. So when we do this Ishtapurti, we acquire punya. And when we acquire punya, when a person dies, because of this punya, he follows the path of the Dakshinayan, which is also called the path of the moon. And he reaches the Swargalok, remains there for some time, experiencing the joys of that result of that punya, and again comes back. So, te chandramasam eva lokam abhijayante. So they attain the world of the moon. Ta eva punaravartante. And after experiencing that, again come back. Tasmad ete rishayah praja kamaha dakshinam pratipadyate. Therefore, those rishis or those beings who want to fulfill their desires, they follow this path of Dakshinayan. Esha havai rahihi. This is called Rai, the Dakshinayan. Ya Pitruyanaha. It is also of Rai, which leads to Swargalok and again comes back. And later on it will say Uttarayan is the path of the prana or the path of the sun, taking which one reaches the Brahmalok. This thing is said in Bhagavad Gita also, in the 8th chapter. Dakshinayan, Uttarayan and all. So after saying the Dakshinayan, the next verse it says about the Uttarayan. Atha Uttarena Tapasa Brahmacharyena Shraddhaya Vidyaya Atmanam Anvishya Adityam Abhijayante Etadvai Prananam Ayatanam Etad Amrutam Abhayam Etat Parayanam Etasman na punaravartante Ittesha Nirodha Tadesha Shlokaha. This is the Uttarayan Marga, which is the Marga of the Prana, Marga of the sun. And going through this, the beings, they reach the Brahmalok, wherein they don't come back. From there only one gains moksha. More about this we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.